Welcome to Midnight Files, where we'll be going through Project Blue Book from beginning to end. Project Blue Book is the government's top secret investigation into UFOs, and it starts in 1947 officially with Project Sign. But our first case is actually from 1945 in Toms River, New Jersey. And what's interesting is that this was 2 years before the official Project Sign began. The front page says that there's 5 pictures, but you can see that there's at least 7. And in these photos, you see objects in groups of 3 floating above the horizon. One of them has been completely removed with the letter F with 180 degrees below it. And the other picture, which looks like at least 2 individuals, also covered with paper. The remaining photos have no other information besides 120 degrees, which could be the distance between each of the UFOs in degrees, forming a perfect triangle shape. Unfortunately, there's no more information than that, but we're going to try to see if we can find anything else later in these files. The next file we're going to look at is just about as curious as the first, as it doesn't contain any text at all besides the cover sheet. This one's out of Phoenix, Arizona in June of 1947. It's 3 pages long with 2 photos and a very strange file number. They're a classic UFO shape, black in color, but have a little bit of a semicircle taken out of the side of it. In the center there appears to be a light source, and there's no other real information besides that. No background, no objects to compare it to. So with that, we don't really have much else we can go on with this case. Now on to our third case out of Hamburg, New York. This is when the Air Force began actually writing the information down and doing these proper investigations and record keeping. So we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at the second page. According to the report, it was a crate-sized object, and fairly small. The description says the object was seen at sunset. At first it appeared to be reflecting the sun, but when it changed position, it retained its color. There's no apparent means of propulsion, and yet the object did not seem to drift. If you look at the first page, the conclusion says it's possibly an aircraft. I don't know about you, but I don't know any aircraft that are crate-shaped and small and light up like a rainbow. So we're only 3 cases in, and we're already seeing the government dismiss legitimate UFO observations as conventional aircraft. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of this dismissing in the future. Our next case comes out of Seattle, Washington in June of 1947. According to the case files, this was a letter from a civilian. It was a round silver object about 3,000 feet in the air and moving at a slow speed. What's interesting is on the second page, they noted that there were several of these objects in a group. There's no other real information than that, so we're just going to have to move on to the next case. Our last case for the evening was in early June in Delaware. Now this one's a really strange case. According to the record, a civilian pilot with 30 years experience saw a mayonnaise jar-shaped object heading north at over 1,000 miles an hour, and this is the second time he's seen one, once before in 1946. The second page says it is entirely possible that the object observed on these 3 separate dates were Bumblebee ramjet missiles, as fired from the fort by the Applied Physics Laboratory of the Johns Hopkins University. Since the hour of observation of the various sightings and the exact day of the first 2 is not given, positive identification cannot be made. Once again, I can't help but feel this is another government cover-up. We have a pilot with over 30 years experience seeing what appears to be a mayonnaise jar, and the investigator says, oh, it was a missile. I don't know about you guys, but I know the difference between a mayonnaise jar and a missile. Well, that's all for this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next time.